Ariel. Everybody have a good night.
Baseball time. I've got, let's see, what do we want to do? Fishy Lines. I'll do Fishy Lines, and then we'll go to, okay. I'm just talking out loud. Bad, Ariel. Fishy Lines. I'll start with the less ugly one. Mets, Red Sox. This is your typical Sunday night baseball fade. I saw the line move from -142 to -132 on the Mets, despite the public all over the Mets. After the loss yesterday to the Yankees, they lost the series. They've lost 2 in a row. After Sunday night baseball, you always see sharps love to attack the team that played the night before that now has to go, especially on the road. Mets are on the road in Boston. If the Mets don't get length out of their starter Kodai Senga tonight, it could be an issue with their bullpen. A lot of arms were used this weekend by the Mets in the Subway Series. The Red Sox do hit better at home. They're averaging the 5th most runs per game at just over 5 runs a game when playing at Fenway Park. The Mets' bats have completely flamed out. They've averaged just under 2 runs a game through their last 4. The Mets, they are hitting 138 with runners in scoring position in those last 4 games. Fishy line of the day, the less ugly one because there's 2. I would stay away from the Mets at least tonight. If you want a dog, Boston maybe, but starting for the Red Sox tonight is Hunter Dobbins, who has been and the Red Sox bullpen's not that rested. So my play would just be to stay away from the Mets tonight. This one's also, I am sorry. I have to tell you guys, though. It's kind of like when Pascal Siakam and Christian Braun and Pods kept not hitting their props, but I had to keep telling you about the trend because it was just like due to happen at some point. I just have to tell you about this. The line moved 25 cents in favor of Colorado overnight. In fact, the line moved about 10-15 cents in favor of Colorado overnight, then continued to move 10 cents in favor of Colorado this afternoon. I always tell you, there is a lot of times where the sharp groups, like Yanni the Greek will tell you, the sharp groups on baseball will buy, get a number so low that then they'll come back on the other side. We see it a lot with the Dodgers. We did not see that today with the Phillies. I mentioned it before. Shawn Michaels right. Kyle Freeland actually has very good numbers against Bryce Harper and Kyle Schwarber. Just those 2 alone, I put it in the Prop Queen Pod newsletter, or excuse me, the PropQueen.com newsletter. Bryce Harper's hitting 185. 5 for 27 with 1 home run, 7 strikeouts against Kyle Freeland in his career. The reasoning behind this is, first off, game 1 in altitude at Coors. Phillies just played yesterday at home. Now they had to travel to the West Coast. They have to stay in the altitude. It's game 1. Sanchez did have a start against Colorado in his first start of the season, but that was in Philly, and he pitched very well. Allowed 1 run off a home run, 5 1/3 innings, 4 hits. The Rockies getting to see him a second time through, and they're at home. Like, maybe there's something to the second time seeing a pitcher, but I really do think that it has something to do with first game in altitude, travel, the Phillies not great numbers against Kyle Freeland. Just stay away from the Phillies today. No, nothing to do with the Colorado Rockies. What a horrible team. I've got some overs and unders to tell you. So some overs today that you could look at from a matchup perspective. Kike Hernandez, not a lot of at-bats, but 4 for 9 with double and a home run against Spot. Conforto, 3 for 9 with 2 home runs against Spot. Jake Bauers, 3 for 9, doubled, 2 homers against Kramer. Nico Horner, 5 for 8 with 2 doubles against Cabrera. Chapman, 5 for 9 with a double and a homer against Bubich. Steer, 375. 6 for 16, 3 doubles and a homer against Mitch Keller. Unders you could look at. Steven Kwan, not good numbers against Bailey Ober. Bryce Harper, not good numbers against Kyle Freeland. Matt Tace, 1 for 12 with 8 Ks against Castillo. Will Benson, over 10 with 6 Ks against Mitch Keller, which is crazy because Will Benson, I have numbers on Will Benson. I put this in the PropQueen.com newsletter. Will Benson is on fire right now. He's homered in 4 straight games, hitting .423 with 5 home runs and 11 ribbies in 9 games, 8 starts since being recalled on May 9th. So it's very interesting that Benson, who might have some inflated numbers because of how good he's been playing, is over 10 with 6 Ks against Mitch Keller in his career. Javi Baez, 3 for 26 with 14 Ks against Sonny Gray. Yikes. Some other hitters, props. Actually, I've on the PropQueen.com newsletter, if you subscribe to basic or premium, you could see it a little after 6 o'clock. It comes out, and I have a lot of different players on the newsletter tonight that are on hot streaks. What I just showed you were batters that have good matchups with the starters they're facing. On the PropQueen.com newsletter, I also added players that are on like massive hot streaks right now, so you could check that out. Also got the most bet on props of the day according to BetMGM. This is propaganda. The most bet on props of the day according to BetMGM. Kyle Tucker over a home run. Brent Rooker a home run. Francisco Lindor over 1.5 total bases. Freddie Freeman a home run. And Pete Crow Armstrong a home run. Pete Crow Armstrong is in the PropQueen.com newsletter. He is 8 for 14 with 2 triples, a home run, 8 ribbies, and 16 total bases this weekend against the White Sox, hitting leadoff. Pete Crow Armstrong, he's 12 for 29 with 6 extra base hits, 3 home runs, 11 ribbies this season. He's 7 for 21 with 3 home runs in 6 career games against the Miami Marlins. So Pete Crow Armstrong is on fire right now. The thing that I thought was interesting, and people should look at this market, whether it's runs scored or RBIs, that's always such an intriguing market that you could try to bring into your offensive player props. Feel like you get good value on them. You could notice, like I see with all these players on hot streaks, it's not just about total bases, it's about runs scored and ribbies. So something to keep in mind there. I do have a best bet of the day, but I feel like there was one other thing I wanted to mention, and now I don't remember. Oh, well, okay. It'll probably come to me, but these are my best bets of the day. It's actually just one. I just like one play today. Royal Lux. Royal luck of the day. We are going with the Pittsburgh Pirates starter, Mitch Keller, to go over 5.5 strikeouts. I only like when Mitch Keller's at home, so that's what drew it to my attention against the Reds tonight. Keller's faced just one high K rate lineup this year in his 9 starts. It was game 1 of his season against Miami, where he only punched out 4 Marlins in 6 innings. Last season, Keller had good numbers strikeout-wise against the Reds. Had 7, 6, and then just 1 strikeout in his last start against Cincinnati, but 7 and 6 and 7 in 7 innings at home last year. Righty starters, 19 overs, 14 unders against Cincinnati, averaging just over 5 strikeouts a game. With his good history against Cincinnati last year, strikeout-wise, I would take it over 5.5 strikeouts for Mitch Keller tonight. Didn't love much else on the board, but there are a lot of other trends that you could look at if you go to the PropQueen.com, subscribe to the newsletter. Basic is $8.99. Premium, which you get the morning and the afternoon newsletter, is like $19 a month. And that's where I give you guys all the trends to know, anyone who's hot or who's not, anything that you might have missed from the podcast. It's all in there if you don't want to rewatch. If you'd rather watch than read, then you could go and subscribe to the YouTube channel at Prop Queen Sports. It would mean a lot to me if you subscribe, you missed any interviews. Check out Mid-Major Matt. Check out James Young. James Young came on, Coach Young, and he was talking about WNBA tonight. He was talking about the NBA coming up this week. Great show from all of our guests. Thank you, everyone in the chat, for participating. I hope that you all have a profitable evening. I can't speak now, so it's time to sign off. I'll be back tomorrow, 5 to 6 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on the Prop Queen Pod. Hasta mañana.